Rahul back. Rahul back, family. Okay. Rahul back, and welcome to my live. Today's update is a continuation of Jacob York. I have them all on the wall. And before I get into this wall, there are a few things that I need to. I got a belt. So we're gonna whoop some butt today. Okay? Let me say something to you all. You know, when I have to go over this case, and when I have to read things, hear things, and relive it in my mind, and think about all the horrible things that they did to Baba Yanun, to the master teacher, it's very disheartening. And a lot of you're going to get your behind whipped today. I'm going to beat the crap out of you today. Because there's no way in the world you could tell me that a man as powerful as the master teacher is still incarcerated after 23 years. Now, those of us who know who the master teacher is, we know he'll be out. And I can't explain it to those of you who do not have a genetic tie with Wu Sabat as Sabbatian Sabians. If you don't have a genetic tie with us, a lot of stuff that I'm going to say today is going to go over your head. Okay? Because years ago, y'all used to slander the master, Imam Isa, and say he was crazy about UFOs. And if you listen to his tapes from back then, you hear him saying, I know this sounds crazy, but you're going to find out it's real anyway. He said it. He said they want to make somebody like me look like I'm crazy so that you can't elevate and become the gods and children of the Most High. They want you to stay deaf, blind, and dumb. Excuse me 1 minute. I need to take a little drink. My throat is... Excuse me. I'm trying to relax, y'all. But I want to be honest. I'm so pissed off. And I'm trying to calm down. I got some cool water here, and I'm trying to calm down. But I'm very upset about this whole thing that took place. And when I finish reading all of this stuff to you, and it's breaking everything down, you're going to be upset too. Now, let me say something. I have a public announcement. The first thing I would like to say is a lot of you sisters are lying on me. You know, you're making things up and you're going around spreading rumors, telling people that I'm exiled out the tribe. I'm not Baba's wife. Which that's neither here nor there. He's in prison. I'm lying. And you know, you make up all kinds of stuff because you're jealous. All right? And the thing is this, if you got something to say about me, come publicly with it. Stop going behind my face, telling people things and saying things and talking about me. Come public with it. Mean what you say and say what you mean and stop making stuff up about me. All right? Saying Baba said this, Baba said that. Come with the facts. Because I'm sick of y'all. I'm sick of you witches in this tribe and your jealous, wicked ways. You're jealous of me. I've done nothing to none of you. When I lived in Athens, you had a problem with me. When I was in Decatur, you had a problem with me. You're spreading rumors and lying on me, making things up, and I'm sick of it. And it's always some bald-headed, decrepit-looking, bony, malnutrition-looking, dried-up chicken that got something to say about me. Like that sister in Oklahoma that calls herself the joyful soul of Baba. So, oh, Baba gave me this name. He told me to let his words be known, and this, and that. And then she asked me, she said, what's your address, Tabitjet? I have a chain that I made that I would like to give to you. You know what you need? You need, what she said? She said, you need obsidian, and you need, crystals and all this other stuff. I said, listen, I'm not into all of that. I don't need anything from any of you, because every time you want to give me something, it's something that you made. Something just like the sister Farasha in London. Farasha was like, oh, I made these earrings for you, Tabitjet. You know, why y'all always want to give me something that you made with your hands? But not like me. When I give you gifts, I go to the store, I buy a beautiful sweater, I buy a nice hat or whatever, perfume, and I get it wrapped up and send it to you wrapped up. Not something that I made for me to put on my skin. Something from some herbs y'all want me to take. Something you want me to put around my neck. I already know what it is. And behind closed doors, you pretend I'm this horrible person, but behind closed doors, you talking to me like you're my friend, and you always want to give me something to put in my body or to put on my body or to wear that you don't put some hex on. I'm not stupid, all right? You want to play somebody, play lotto. I'm sick of you freaking devils in this tribe making up stuff, lying on me. The master teacher said to me, welcome home. Welcome back home. I'm happy that you're here. He's happy that I'm home. And those of you who left, get back. Stop listening to evil people, making them think that the master teacher is upset with you. Why would he be upset with a woman like me that's living Wusabat, that's helping him get out of there, that's making changes for him while he's incarcerated? Make that make sense. While y'all freaking slandering on my name, staring at my jewelry, looking at what I got, talking about this is where the tribal money went. That's not true. I always stayed looking nice, and everybody that knows me knows this. From Athens to Decatur, and even before I came back home, I always kept myself looking nice. Linen, silk, cotton. I'm not a polyester woman. Don't try to turn me into something that you are. I'm tired of the slanders. I'm sick of it. I'm tired of y'all slandering on my name. All right? What y'all need to do is, these people that I put on the wall, y'all need to be questioning them, and y'all need to be asking them what's up. And some of you that are officers or work for the courts, you need to be taking this case to let people review and expose what happened. Because y'all got an innocent man sitting in prison based on lies. Stop lying on me. Stop making up stuff, telling the family that our Bob is upset with me. He's not angry with me. You're just jealous. Get yourselves together. Get your minds out the gutter. Get your children out of the hands of the devil. Because as you can see, it's getting worse. But I'm holding on to the rope of the Most High. And y'all are jealous of that. Because you gave your lives over to Satan. And Jacob York and the rest of this nasty, filthy freaking crew. Now, I have a few things that I would like to read. I've done a lot of research because I want to come with the facts. I don't want to make anything up on anyone like y'all do to me, making up stories and lying to people. Why would the master teacher exile me from the tribe? I haven't done anything. I don't have any babies. I haven't been laying up with these brothers. I haven't defiled myself. I do my best to walk upright and stay on the path because I see the times that we're in and what's happening. And everything that he says is coming to pass. And it's a scary thing. You understand? But the thing is this, you're not going to turn me into what you are. I'm staying close to Panabab Yanun. Regardless, you could slander, you could lie, you could make stuff up all you want to, because guess what? This one day, this is going to be over, and you all are going to have to answer to him, because he said, I'm going to ask each and every one of you, what have you done for my freedom? Y'all out here living your lives, taking vacations, going places, living your life, and leaving the man that taught you everything to die at the hands of the devil, of pink people. Pink Ku Klux Klan evil men like Sheriff Howard Richard Sills and Bill Osinski. And for all you dummies that's reading Bill Osinski's book, you're a freaking dummy. Why would you buy a book by a man named Bill Osinski? Break his name down. Man of sin, ski, S-K-Y, from the sky that fell down, the fallen angels. Why are y'all buying that freaking book? And then the man had the audacity to put a picture of a dark-skinned Nagar with a tear coming out their eye, looking sad and all depressed, talking about the ungodly and all this crap, when they're the freaking beast. They're the beast man of sin. Why are y'all buying that man's book? Because it's some of y'all in this tribe that bought that man's book. And you know what? You're going to piss me off, and I'm going to put you on my freaking wall too. Because we women that lived in the community, we were the closest to the master teacher. Don't you think after all these years, it wouldn't have been 13 kids. It would have been a whole bunch of women, a whole bunch of men, and a lot of people that had something to say about Dr. Melakazi York, Imam Isa, Rabboni Yashua Bar El Hadi. Don't you think after all these years, it would have been a lot of people? That's how you know that it was a setup and it was a lie. Because what they did was they got a group of people, Abigail got her entourage together, and they made sure their stories lined up, and they came up with this lie to put Malachi in prison. And guess what? Malachi didn't have a fair trial because the case happened in Ku Klux Klan land in Georgia, Brunswick, freaking Georgia. Do the research, y'all, about them freaking devils that's in office over there in Brunswick and in Putnam County, Georgia, and Sheriff Sills. But like I said, I'm going to break it down today, and when I'm done, the next person up for exposure is Hagar York. You, your mother, and your uncle McKinn. Y'all are going on my freaking wall. You know why? Because every time I start researching, I keep finding more dirt on you niggas. All right? Y'all should never have done this to Baba. He doesn't deserve to be locked up in some freaking cell because y'all niggas wanted to leave. You should have just left. There were no cages holding you in. And you all know this. Everybody wanted to be next to the Lamb of the Most High. Y'all always begging to move on the land. And those of you who didn't want to live, you should have lived there. You should have left. Because guess what, Abigail? You claim you told Baba, oh, I'm leaving. Girl, you're a freaking liar. And the truth ain't in you. You're a freaking demon. And you look like a freaking voodoo on a stick. You look horrible. Your father was there. So if you claim you was under so much torture, you could have ran to your father and told your father, and both of y'all could have got y'all behinds off of Tamaray. Y'all sitting up here making up these lies on this man. Lying and put innocent girls, women, and children in prison and left people homeless with nowhere to live. Y'all are some freaking devils, man. I don't have no freaking sympathy for you, Abigail. I don't have no sympathy for you. And then you're going to recant again. Hold on, let me read something to y'all. Hold on a second. I got something I need to read. Where did I send it to? Hold on a second. Let me see if I sent it to this phone. I got to read a letter that Baba wrote. Hold on. This note. 1 minute, y'all. I gotta pull up something. 1 minute, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Let me read this to you all. This is a letter from Panabab Yanun that he wrote during his incarceration while he was being tortured by these devils. He wrote this letter to Robbie and Joe. And I'm not surprised because they're freaking devils. They're informants, like I told y'all. Listen, if I mention anybody, all you have to do is go into YouTube, put in Robbie and Joe, informants. Go on my channel and put the name in, Deuce York, Joseph Hibner, Robbie Ward. Any name that I mention, all you got to do is go on my channel and put their name in there, type in the name, and then it'll come up. All right? And I got 28 people that I'm seeing here, 13 likes. Please like and subscribe to my channel. And like I said, this ain't about money for me. This is about somebody's life. All right? Now, this is what the master teacher wrote, and this is what he said. He wrote this in 2004 on October the 30th. Now, you remember, the master teacher got incarcerated on May 8th, 2002. So 2 years later, he wrote this to Robbie and Joe. Okay? This is what he said. And they posted it Saturday, October the 30th was when it was posted. It says, peace in the land was truly wonderful. Rahubat to Robbie and Joe. This is your job. Retype it. Don't alter, fix spelling, date, or add, but get it out. This one is yours. Let's set the record straight. You have letter. Some people won't give them to you for the net to protect themselves and family. In other words, Baba would write family members and tell them to post their letters or let his words be known, and they were afraid to do it because they punks. They're afraid of the FBI, the CIA, the feds, okay? Sheriff, pink, pig-looking Sheriff, KKK, Sheriff Howard Richard Sills. He's a demon. Oh, wait till I tell y'all what he did. All right. So, but again, let me reread that part. So, Baba says, peace in the land was truly wonderful. Rahubat, Robbie, Joe, this is your job. Retype it. Don't alter, fix spelling, date, or add. But get it out. This one is yours. Let's set the record straight. Hold on, let me set this down over here. Let's set the record straight. You have letter. Some people won't give them to you for the net to protect themselves and family. Yes, I no longer forgive them, and I curse them daily. But so do I, their families, for letting it happen. Forget me. I was in jail, but then they let the devil go after Tamaray and make children homeless. They put Kathy in jail with no meds. It will affect her. She has MS. That's multiple sclerosis. And I am mad. No, am I mad? Let me repeat that. Let me go back. You have letter. Some people won't give them to you for the net to protect themselves and family. Yes, I no longer forgive them and I curse them daily. But so do I, their families, for letting it happen. Forget me. I was in jail, but then they let the devil go after Tamaray and make children homeless. They put Kathy in jail with no meds. It will affect her. She has MS. Am I mad? Madder than I have ever been in my life at these people and that silly clan. But that's another day in time, for real. After they had me, That was it. But you're happy. But no, Abigail wants to play games. Turn the knife, as they say. Recant her recant. And your website loved it. Why? Because you believe the lies. No matter how impossible it is, the facts, they don't mean a thing. They were on me from 1988. They said in court they followed me. Did they see me with children going to restaurants all the time? No. One birthday tape. One. Ever see me go to dance club? Strippers? No. Buy XXX movies? No. They had surveillance of my house in Athens. The windows around my bedroom were always open. Any films? No. Look at the tapes of the so-called kids. Safaa and Tatiana, Abigail, put them up. Get them from Alabaz, the photo man. Show them. Do they look sad? No. Lies and more lies, but you believe them. Their mother, Bilquis, a.k.a. Barbara Noel, Sha'ira, sent her kids nuts, and everyone knows this. David Tardic Noel is off. So is Nicole Lopez and Amanda. Husna knows she and Ballora Crystal are nuts. Sills knows it, but I could go on. What do you all say to Sakina Priam? She beat my son Harry. She had kids by another man who also left her. She had a court charge for beating my son. Talk to her about that. Or Ada about the letter. Or Safat about her diary. Or Husna about Ballora being in jail and Husna having sex behind 155. Must the brother come on again? No, you don't want to see none of it. That's their game. What book did they read to come up with this? Ask Office to put it in. Read it. Rahili McKinn will tell you, let the real people talk now. That is a letter that the master teacher wrote about these freaking devils and Abigail recanting her recantment. But I'm going to tell you something. When Baba wrote me about that recantment, he said Joe, Robbie, Rochelle, Neeful, and all of them, when Abigail was going to recant, that they let Sills get back to her. Because she was like, I know Baba. He'll take care of me. He'll make sure me and my kids are good. And she felt bad about what she did because all those children didn't have anywhere to live. You understand? These are the type of, let me tell you something, y'all. This girl is a schemer. This girl is a liar. And this girl is a devil. There's nothing good about her. And that's why her son ain't here. Because Baba cursed him. And let me explain something to you all. All right? There's a difference between a curse and a hex. Again, there's a difference between a curse and a hex. Because witches, they put hexes on you. They don't curse you. They put hexes on you. But a curse from a pharaoh, a man like Baba, a curse cannot be removed. Okay? A curse cannot be removed. And all of you have curses on you. All of you that went up against the master teacher, that went up against me, trying to fight him and help him, that went up against other people, causing accidents and doing all these evil things to people in this tribe that had his back, you got your day. Because you pretend in front of all of us that it's all good, but behind closed doors, you are going through hell. Hell and back. Now, let's get into it. We about to get to that wall in a minute. I took some notes because there's some things that I need to expose, okay? Now, again, this man, Bill Osinski, sisters, Zawal Tat Wu Zawal, why are you reading a book from a pink devil named Bill Osinski? And from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution journalist, Bill Osinski. He claimed he was in New York in 1999. That's a lie. He published a book in 2007. Let me tell you something about these people. They put the book out when Baba got locked up because they know if they would have ever wrote a book just like Bilal Phillips, that the master teacher would have came with the two-headed sword and cut their freaking head off. Cut that pink pig in half. Okay? So that's a lie. What Bill Osinski did was he went to New York and he met with Jacob, or he might not even went to New York because they're liars. They met with Jacob York, they met with Abigail, and they met with Barbara Noel, who is Ada Nicole's mother. We're going to get to this wall, and y'all going to understand exactly what I'm talking about. Just walk with me for a minute, okay? So now, what he did was, while Baba was incarcerated, 8 years later, he came out with this book called The Ungodly and all this other stuff. Right? Like I said, put a dark-skinned, chocolate little baby with a tear coming out their eye. And I noticed that they always do that with the spell of Kingle. Anytime it's some way in the water, picking cotton, being beat, being abused, they always put an image of a dark-skinned person. But whenever it's something that has to do with money or looks or whatever, it's always one of their mulatto red bones. You see the games? Like I said, so Bill, he claimed that he went to New York with Jacob Muhammad, with Jacob and Barbara Noel, but she got kicked out, right? And then she supposedly had moved in with Jacob, right? And then Abigail, listen, y'all, when I tell y'all these people did some real wicked things, wait till I get into this. I got some other stuff here too that I got to break down to y'all. But hold on. Okay, so now I did a lot of research out of this book called Lightning from the East. And Yvonne Christensen, I got some things that I have to say to you, okay? Because first of all, you're not a real journalist. I mean, you're not an author. You did research and you put all the stuff that you had and gave your opinion about it, about Malachi. But the thing is this, you don't really know who Dr. Malachi Z. York is. You never met him. You was never in his presence. All right? This is a man that called crafts out the sky. UFOs. He called them out the sky. And everybody that was on the land saw them. Okay? This is a man that commands crafts from other galaxies in this. He moved his hand around and they just came out of nowhere. And everybody was there and they saw it. So you can't talk about a man that was sent to raise his people like he's some regular man. Like you can't, there's things that you said out of your mouth that's disrespectful. And you know what? I'm going to be honest with you. A lot of y'all are just jealous of that man. Y'all jealous of Panabab Yanun. You're jealous of the master. Y'all always talking about his children. Y'all always talking about how many women he had. But you never said that about Jay-Z. Y'all never said that about these rappers and all these other people out here that'll come see you. You understand? But a man like the master, y'all, that's all y'all do is slander him about the women and say, oh, this is probably why that happened. And then you made stuff up and you lied and said that Dr. Malachi Z. York had his wives in a special area and they had their own private food. That's not true. We all ate the same thing. There was a kitchen. The food was made in the kitchen. There were sisters that worked in the kitchen, and we all ate the same thing. I know, because there was times when we had to take turns cooking. And when it was my turn to cook, the master teacher's mates were there eating the food. So I don't know what you're talking about. And then if they did have extra food on the side, and so another sister had her mate bringing in some food, they were sneaking and doing it because the master teacher had us living as a family, as one. You understand? We live for other and by each other like they do in Africa. That's how they are. They're very family oriented in the village. The families, your child is my child. Your kids can come by my house and, oh, where's so-and-so? She's over there. It's very family oriented. And all the master teacher tried to do What he didn't try, he did, was successfully have us live together, live for of and by each other in groups and categories, so that we could, just like in this world, when you go outside to play, you're not going to look for a 17-year-old. If you're 9, you're going to try to find somebody that's your age to play with. So that's why we were segregated. It had nothing to do with the way you tried to paint it out in the book. You were wrong, brother. You were wrong. Okay? So there's some things that I have to get into about what you said that I did not like. Okay? And then we're going to get into this war and these people. All right? Like I said, brother, you know, what you said about Dr. York, you know, it was really messed up. And I just wanna make this clear, okay? Now, this is what Yvonne Christensen said about Jacob York's mother. And if I was a man and I saw you, I would punch you in your mouth, okay? Because you're disrespectful. All right? You don't talk. First of all, if you don't know him, if you never met the man, how are you going to write a book about somebody that you didn't meet? And then if you didn't meet him, you should have spoke to people that walked with him, that was in good standings with the master. So that way you would have got both sides of the story, as opposed to you talking to that, what's that mulatto brother? I forgot his name. Anyway, you talking to people, you're having conversations with people that got their information off of NawapianFacts.com. You're not talking to people that walk with the master like myself, or women that lived in a community like myself. All right? And for those of you Banats and all you people from the Ansarullah that are listening, this is Karatul Ain. I am Karatul Ain. Okay? So don't say, oh, listening to Duke Swat, she never lived in a community. I lived in a community. My name was Karatul Ain. There was nobody else with that name. Okay? So now, this is what this brother said about Baba. Listen to this. He said about Jacob York. He said the true source of Jacob's resentment towards his father is said to be his late mother, who died as a result of an aneurysm, brain tumor, in 1995, after a painful separation from Malachi York. For many years, Miss Johnson was regarded as York's main chief wife. However, following the group's arrival to Georgia, the relationship between Jacob's mother and father appeared to have suffered. However, York's followers now assert that he was never actually legally married to her, which would have made her simply another one of the Nawapian leader's many concubines. First of all, how do you know he did not marry her? Were you there? Did you ever talk to Dr. York? Did you ever write him? That's not a fact. You do not know what you're talking about. Now, listen to what else he says. Nevertheless, numerous reports have also indicated that Zubaydah had indeed been with York since the very beginning. True. And would have therefore regarded herself as head wife, or what pimps often refer to as the bottom or foundation, B-I-T-C-H. He called her a foundation, B-I-T-C-H. Despite York's followers' insistence that he was in no way responsible for her ultimate death, it does, however, stand to reason that she would have naturally felt a great deal of animosity at no longer being recognized as York's number one wife after having borne 5 of his children and spent many years of her life devoted to the Nawapian leader. Like many of York's other shortcomings, his followers try to gloss over this issue as if York was completely blameless. Nevertheless, the evidence suggests that Dorothy Johnson felt deeply unhappy with York's endless appetite for different, often much younger women, which naturally led to tension between the two, finally causing her to abruptly, in 1995, leaving the community in humiliation. returned back to New York alone. Dorothy Johnson would have almost certainly informed her children of her feelings towards their father, which appears to have sown the seed of the bitter resentment between Jacob and his father. Okay, you got some of that right. But the part that you calling her foundation and you calling Dr. Malachi York a pimp, do you, first of all, let me explain something to you. You don't even know about the pimp game. Okay? Pimping can be in any category. Anybody can be pimped. Okay? And for you to categorize Dr. York as a pimp is disrespectful. Okay? He's a well-endowed master. You were never around him. Okay? And no, he's a man. Okay? He's a man. And he has his needs just like all other men. Okay? He's a handsome man, a rich man, a wealthy man with money, property, and money on top of money. So I think your words that you use to describe who Dr. Malachi York is was very disrespectful. And like I said, if I was a man, I would punch you in your mouth. You don't ever talk about the master of heaven and earth, calling him a pimp. You don't even know what's going on, brother. You getting your information wrong. And you reading Bilal, of all people, Bilal Phillips' book. Bilal Phillips didn't live in the community. He, just like you, got his information from people that no longer wanted to be around. It's just like your children, when you kick them out the house, you don't, like some of my brothers and sisters are angry because their life isn't successful. And they try to blame my mother for it because there were things that my mother wasn't having and they had to go. And now that their life isn't the way that they want it to be, they want to blame the parent. You understand? So that's what took place in our tribe. There were people that was breaking the rules and they had to go, including Zubaydah. All right? The master teacher never kicked her out. She left. Okay? She left. And before she left, like I said, Jacob York is not Dr. Malachi York's son. So that should tell you why they broke up. It have nothing to do with no pimp and no bottom, no, what you called her? What did he call her? Bottom or foundation, B-I-T-C-H. Where are you getting this freaking garbage from? You know, with this pimp and this pimp and prostitution and all this stuff, like, you know, we're a holy tabernacle ministries. We live under strict rules and regulations. We walk upright. Dr. Malachi York came to bring us out of the filth of America. And instead of you people talking about these devils that did this to him and their double dealings and the way they live their world and how they're not even thinking about their children, the way they got the internet and everything exposing these children to all kinds of disgusting things. This is sad for you to put something like this about Dr. Malachi York in a book. Now, there's another thing that I have to say to you before I get to this wall and the rest of these things that these people did. Okay, first of all, you said Jacob York. This is what he said about Jacob York, y'all. All right, because Jacob York was a bum. All right, it's all lies. He said Jacob York was in a community and he started his entrepreneurship by selling candy and making cakes and drinks and selling them in the community. And that's how he started, you know, becoming. First of all, okay, listen, you're talking to somebody that lived on Bushwick Avenue. I lived in 717 Bushwick Avenue. I lived in Detroit community. I lived in Virginia community. And I lived in the Cleveland community. I was in all those three communities, all right? And I lived in the community for 7 years. And I never got kicked out. I left. In fact, no, let me back that up. When I was in Virginia, there was a sister named Nusra and her husband. They put me out because a young girl, she was only 16 years old, Rashida, told me that she was having sex with the sister's husband. And I told the sister's best friend that I was going to report it to the imam, and she got scared and they got mad and they put me out. And then when Baba found out about it, he sent brothers over there and they stomped that brother out for putting me out. What you put me in the street for? Because you didn't want nobody to know what you did. See, this is what y'all fail to realize. This is a community setting. And just like things happen in the world, things happen in those community settings. You don't think that there are children in school that have other children say, hey, come in the bathroom, I want to show you something? You don't think that that these things take place out here in the world? Dr. Malachi York was trying to take us out of that. But it's not, you can't be in so many places at one time. You understand? So yes, Jacob York and all those Banats and those young girls were secretly interacting with each other, sneaking around and having sex with each other. Okay? And when Dr. York found out about it, he had to put his foot down and they had to go. And they got upset about that. You understand? And that's why Abigail, she didn't, let me tell you something. She was smart the way she did this because she knew that she couldn't she couldn't get all those girls on the land to go with her and lie. She knew from living and growing up with them, oh, I know I could get Belura, I know I could get Ada, I know I could get Nicole, I could get Hadia to set it up. She knew what to do. And Jacob would not have been able to do this if it wasn't for Abigail. So Abigail, she could try to blame Jacob York and say that Jacob did it, but it was really Abigail. She was the mastermind behind this whole freaking plot. And that's why you sick. And that's why you look the way you look with your plastic cowrie shells and you broke going on Hulu lying again when your father was right there on the land with you. And no, there was no gates holding you in. Y'all all could have just left. So now, check this out. So he says, next Jacob sets his sight. Oh no, hold on. Where he says, hold on. Okay, this is what he says about Baba. Again, listen to this. He says, although it would be fair to say that Jacob is the complete opposite of his father, it is not as clear-cut as York's followers would have the public believe by portraying Jacob York as an evil monster and his father as a saint, when he is clearly, in many respects, a chip off the old block. The only obvious difference between the two being that Jacob has used his intelligence for evil and immoral purposes, unlike his father, who has used many talents to raise the mental, spiritual, and economical condition of his people throughout his many years as a leader of various movements since the late 1960s. So he's saying Bob is a chip off the old block? Yo, you crazy. You never met him. You understand? So because you never met him and you don't know him, you don't understand why we feel the way we feel. And if you didn't study the doctrine and read the books and have a DNA explosion and elevate to another level, then you, my brother, are still a zombie. You're still caught in the 1, 2, 3s, the ABCs, and the black and white. You don't understand how the spell works and how powerful this devil that was cast out is, because he is also an extraterrestrial. Now, Jacob lied and said, hold on, we're going to get into that later because I got to get to this wall. All right. Yeah, so, okay, I got that done. Hold on, let me see something. Okay, we're going to get into that when I get to the wall. I also wanted to read this too, and now this is true about COINTELPRO. It says COINTELPRO documents and the confessions of former agents and informers indicate that while some 1960s infiltrators operate under deep cover, discreetly spying for years without calling attention to themselves, others function as provocateurs. These operatives were directed to seize every opportunity to carry out destructive activity, not only at meetings, conventions, etc., but also during social and other contacts. They spread rumors and made unfounded accusations to inflame disagreements among activists and provoke splits. They urged divisive proposals, sabotage important activities, squandered scarce resources, stole funds, seduced leaders, exacerbated rivalries, provoke jealousy, and publicly embarrass progressive groups. They repeatedly led zealous activities into unnecessary danger and set them up for prosecution. I wanted to read that because that's what a lot of members of this people that claim that they work with us are doing with me. They're trying to say I'm lying. They're trying to say this. They're trying to set me up. They're trying to do all kinds of things because they don't want Dr. Malachi York out. Because the day he comes home, comes home, let me show you something. This will be over. Where's that picture at? Here we go. It'll be the end of all of this. Look at all these brothers, y'all. Young Pharaoh, Saru Sultan Seti, General Hashar, Lord Abba, Captain Tazara Yak, Ankh the Killer, Garfield Reed, Priest Dan Yabia, Langston, all these, and they're all men. You know, study our books, get our readings, and then try to be a leader. And it's not going to work because no one wants to listen to a person that doesn't have self-control, that's not a master of themselves. And contrary to what you said about Dr. York, Jovan Christensen, I'm telling you as a woman that lived in the community that the women, just like any other celebrity, they waited in line. And I don't mean stood in line. It's a figure of speech because y'all take words and twist them up to make it sound cultish. You understand? These women were in love with the master teacher because of the way he taught, his style, his hands, his smell, his clothes, his swag. I mean, Dr. York is a very down-to-earth person. He's very hilarious. He's funny. He's outgoing. He's intelligent. He sings. He dances. I mean, the man is just gifted, okay? And women are attracted to that. Women on earth, they go crazy. They lose their minds. And they don't care if they first, second, third, fourth, or fifth. They just want to get in. That's just the nature of a woman. You cannot get upset with him and say that he's this and he's that. Because you can say whatever you want to say about the women and the children. But one thing you are not going to do is make him look like a pimp. Make him look like it's a possibility that these lies are true. All right? So now, we can right get to this wall, y'all. And then I got some things that I have to read too. Okay, boom. We're gonna get to this wall. Cause I'm ready to whoop some butt. Okay? I'm ready to beat some behind, y'all. Cause these niggas are wicked. I don't get it, man. I don't understand, how these people were able to get away with this and why Bob is still in prison. I'm going to tell you something. You know what it is? Because I remember years ago, the math teacher said, this is a weak case. He said, the reason why I'm still in here is because of the people that are outside doing things to mess things up so I won't get out. Because if you look at the case, it's a very weak case. Now, let me turn this around. Okay. Hold on, let me see. I got something I gotta do. Okay, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put this up here. Wait a minute, let me turn this back around. 1 minute. Okay. Okay, let me make sure that you can see this really well, because I'm gonna go down the line. Yeah, Leah, you on my wall too. Hold on a second. Let me make sure this is straight so y'all can see what I'm talking about. Okay, yes. All right. Hold on, let me move this up some. 1 minute. Okay. Yeah, this is perfect. Okay. Perfect. All right, 1 minute. All right. Let's get into it, family. Okay, I'm laughing at some of the things that Jacob said. I mean, this dude, he basically told Bill Osinski and Sheriff Howard Richard Sills, Jacob York told the government that he got this house for a safe haven for the girls to have a safe place, but he was having sex with all of them in the house, right? Because remember, these are all children of the devil, and this is a devil too. This is a devil too. And so, first of all, let's get into this. I want to read something to y'all. And like I said, Yovan Christensen, yeah, you need to get punched in your mouth, but you did, get some truth information about people. First, let's talk about Sheriff Sills. First of all, he's a racist, right? Now, listen to this. Okay. This is coming from our news article, and this is what we as Nawapians found about Sheriff Sills. Sheriff Sills had been hiding something for years that would be revealed if his divorce records with his ex-wife, Kathy, spelled with a C, Sills, were not sealed. They are doing everything in their power to keep it from the public scrutiny, and if he wasn't afraid, or if he wasn't hiding something, then he would allow this case to be open and made public. Why are they keeping secrets? Sheriff Howard Richard Sills reportedly broke his wife's jaw with a baseball bat in April of 1998 AD. Reports were received that Sheriff Sills was beating his wife. Everybody knows that Sheriff Howard Richard Sills repeatedly beat his wife, Kathy Sills. But because he worked in the law enforcement, nothing was ever done about it. He almost killed Kathy Sills with a baseball bat and had the nerve to brag about it. She has an apparent broken jaw, and her face will never be the same, and everybody wants to keep it on the hush-hush because of the law that states any police officer convicted of domestic violence can no longer carry a firearm. He divorced his wife in May of that same year, in 1998. The divorce files of Howard Richard Sills, plaintiff versus Kathy Denise Sills. Her maiden name is Kathy Denise Taylor. And the civil action file number is, for those of you that want to look it up, is 98-CV151-5. Again, 98-CV151-5. And of course, the county clerk would be the Chief Deputy Helen T. Kitchen, who signed on his behalf, that are locked away should be open for all of us to see how it affects Howard Richard Sills' performance as a law enforcer. The stress and most importantly reason for the divorce proceedings were locked away by court order by no other than Judge William Pryor Jr., who is a close friend of Sheriff Howard Richard Sills and is now the judge in the Nawapian case where he denied the master teacher his bond. So, first of all, Jacob York, you're going to go get this freaking Ku Klux Klan, wife beater, evil fat pink pig, right, to go up against the Nawapian tribe, right? And then you're going to go get Abigail. She's down here. I'm going to show y'all that picture in a minute. But I just want y'all to know something about Jacob York. Because, right, this is a girl. Now, first of all, who takes a picture with their client and got the donkey, you see his, hold on, let me put it up here so y'all can see. Look how he got his hand over her head. Now this is the girl called Karrueche Tran. She used to date that rapper Chris Brown. Hold on a second. And this is an article that I found about Jacob York and her. And this is what she says. Karrueche Tran wants a judge to freeze her ex-manager's assets in her bid to recover at least $1.4 million she claims he stole from her. This was back in 2021. In her court filing obtained by the blast, Karrueche says she fears Jacob York is spending all the money she earned from booking and club appearances. Karrueche is asking for an injunction against her former manager and his company, Electric Republic. She believes Jacob failed to pay her $1.4 million in revenue. The two are currently in the middle of a nasty lawsuit. In the newly filed documents, Karrueche says Jacob has refused to open his books and give her an accounting of the money she earned. She says her ex-manager dragged out the case for weeks with fake promises of a settlement. She recently learned that Jacob has been having issues paying his own lawyer, which concerns her. Karrueche believes Jacob's financial difficulties indicates defendants have likely squandered the monies fraudulently withheld from plaintiff and will either be required to liquidate assets in order to satisfy debts or will be incentivized to secret away such monies to place them beyond the reach of their creditors. So basically what she's saying, this is in 2021, is that he's broke. Okay, but you also got to remember that he's gay too. You know how those gay men do? They bend over, they let men go behind them, and next thing you know, they driving a Benz. Let me tell you something. These people in this music industry are dirty, and they play a dirty game. And there's a celebrity that I know, I ain't gonna mention the name, that told me Jacob York is dirty. His name in the music industry is Mud, okay? And so my thing is, he went and got with Abigail. So Sheriff Sills made a mistake getting with this idiot because they all was lying. He just wanted to get Dr. York locked up. You understand? Because his mother passed away, and he blamed his mother because what Dorothy May, a.k.a. Zubaydah, it's not Miss Zubaydah, it's Zubaydah. It means mother in Arabic. That is what we know her as. Zubaydah was upset because of Dr. York moving on and having all these other, people in his life. And, they didn't want to, look, man, when Dr. York switches and changes up, people get switched and changed up too. Men and women, and they get mad. Is he moving too fast? He's like, look, I got a job to do. Okay, you ain't working with so-and-so? Y'all don't want to work together? Okay, you could go over here. You could go over there. They don't like that. They get mad because they want to be, they want to live a certain kind of way and not comply with the rules and regulations just because of their relationship, or they may have had a child. And Dr. Malachi York is not like that. He plays by the rules. You understand? And they don't like that they feel like, oh, okay, well, because I have your children, the rules should be bent. But that's just not how it goes. So when Dr. York moved on, got the land in Georgia, oh my goodness. When he started building them pyramids and people from all over, they was pissed. It wouldn't have nothing to do with just the girls. They wanted to be a part of it. And he was like, look, you breaking the rules. What kind of man would I be if I got rules and regulations that I apply to my tribe, and now you my woman and it doesn't apply to you? So she got mad and was turning her children against Dr. York. And again, Yvonne Christensen, you lied and said that Dr. York's Yadulahi sister, Fatima, was kicked out because she's a lesbian. That's a lie. That's another lie. Like I said, man, I don't know who you was talking to, where you was getting this information from, because a lot of the stuff in your book sound like gossip, But today, Tabitjet is on the set. I'm going to bring the facts. Now, let's move on. Hold on a second. Hold on, let me take this off so I can move it up closer, because, ooh. Okay. This is Abigail right here, y'all. Hold on, let me turn it around. Let me lean this over here. 1 minute. Let me put this over here for a minute. Okay. All right. This is Abigail. This is Abigail right here. This is Amanda right here. I don't know who that is. But these are the girls that she got together, that Jacob York got with Abigail to get these girls together, right? So Amanda Noel, also falsely testified against Dr. Malachi York. More of the clique, these women are very close. They were never molested in their lives and in the Wapian Nation. These are the facts. Do they look like they were molested? And here's Amanda. I'm like, yo, why she got her pants? Here she go over here. Look at her pants pulled all the way down there, showing, like, come on now. Can't y'all see that these girls, I mean, you look, what is this? You get ready to do a freak off? Look, she got her pants hanging down, all the way down there, pulled down, where, if you pull it any lower, you'll be able to see her vagina. This is Tardic Noel right here, and this is Nicole Lopez. Now, I want y'all to remember that face. Now, I'm getting ready to read some things, some facts. I'm about to bring the facts about these devils. And it's the reason why she's on my wall is because she lived with Zubaydah. All right? This is Leah, and this is her mother, Awatif, and I forgot I think her real name is Cheryl. But they all lived with Jacob York. And he calls them the Mabrys because that's their last name. But this is Uma York's sister. This is Uma York's client because she's a Dalmatrix, some Celtic that she beats. And this is her mother. And you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I just wanted to bring this picture and show y'all that the mothers, the way that they raised their children, they didn't discipline them. You understand? And so they came up with these false allegations on Dr. Malachi York and listening to him who was just upset because he wanted money. He was in a rut, and he felt like his father should have gave him the money because Dr. Malachi York is a multimillionaire. Jacob York is a bum. He learned the music industry from Kedar Massenburg. And then he was in Brooklyn and was linked up with them people from Fulton Street with that guy, Un Rivera. They call him Lance. I mean, his name is Lance, but they call him Un. And they came up with Un Entertainment, and they did Little Kim and all that other stuff. Y'all know the history. I don't want to get back into that again. But that's how he became famous from Junior Mafia and Little Kim and with those grimy dudes from Fulton Street, because I know some of them, all right? Now, and I'm not going to get into that because that's another story about Un. But he's not a nice guy, all right? He's another devil. And that's why he looked the way he looked now. He looks sick. Now, here's an article. So, again, remember I told you, she lived with Zubaydah. So did Leah lived with Zubaydah. So did Uma York lived with Zubaydah. And what they were doing was they were turning their children against Malachi. They were using the children to get their former mate. Because they figure like if I put something in their head, they're going to get upset and they're going to defend me because I'm their mother. You see? And so the thing is, they knew all about this whole scandal before it even surfaced. And yeah, Watsif, let me tell you something. This used to be a very beautiful girl. I don't know what happened to her, but she looked, if y'all knew how she used to look, you would look at this picture and know that she got a curse put on her. All of them do. She has leukemia. She's sick right now. She got leukemia, and I don't know what's wrong with her mother. She's sick too. And her mother used to stay at my house, and she told me, she said that Zubaydah was upset when Baba moved to Georgia and had all of these women and all these, and these big things going on. They got jealous. And she said, Zubaydah said, how could he? I raised some of those girls. You understand? And so she was turning her children against Dr. Malachi York, and Zubaydah, his mother, was turning him against against who he thought was his father. Because that's not Dr. York's son. Okay? That's not his son. Look at them. They don't look alike. They have nothing. They do not look alike at all. That's not his biological son. Now, this is an article right here about the Nawapians. And I do believe I did read this on my last update. It says prior, this is what it says. In the video, all right, this is about the recantment with Abigail. I'll read that later. And this is the second Nuwapians recantment. This is, and I have the recantments, so I don't need to read this. But as you can see, it was only in the Covington News. They didn't make this news spread out. They kept it in that small little Ku Klux Klan town. Okay? And this is Abigail right here, and this is Hadia. Now, I want y'all to understand something. This girl right here, her name is Hadia. All right? Hadia Frederick is her name. She has a mother named Marilyn Frederick, who we know as Bakita. Where Abigail, look at her. She look like a monster. Yo, Abigail, you look horrible, girl. You look like voodoo on a stick, honey. You look horrible. Look at your eyes. Girl, you got that curse on you from the Pharaoh. Now, what she did was Abigail got with Hadia. And Hadia opened up her apartment for her mother, who is right here. This is Marilyn Frederick. This is Dale Elaine Brown, the witch, the head witch. And this is Marilyn. She's also a witch. And this is her daughter, Hadia. Okay? Now, I'm going to make this make sense in a minute. When Abigail got with Jacob, Jacob said, I need you to get these girls to make up this lie on Dr. York. Okay? I need you to get them together. So, and Abigail was like, yeah, don't worry. I know who to get. She said, and what we're going to do is we're going to make it seem like he did this and he did that. But what Jacob put in her dumb head was, we're going to take over the land. We're going to do movies. You know, we're going to make all this money. He's going to go to jail, and we're going to have all of this money, and then we'll be able to live our lives out here. So he planned to take them to, how you call it? South Beach, Florida. So on Ocean, I don't know if any of you ever been in Miami, the South Beach, Florida, on Ocean Drive. It is the land of Nod. Okay? It is the land of Nod. So she went and got these girls, and when she got the girls, they went to her house. This is Hadia. This is her right here with her mother. And as you can see, she there with none other than her neck and her back. She broke her crack, Dale Elaine Brown. And this is Bakita, Marilyn, her mother, all right? And then what happened? So they used Marilyn, they used Bakita's daughter, and Bakita, Marilyn Frederick, should have known better because she used to work in Dr. York's office, okay? She was very close to the master teacher, all right? She was very close to the master teacher, and she should have known better to at least let Dr. York know, listen, this girl, Abigail, is at my house with my daughter, and they're scheming to get these children together, these young girls and boys, to lie on you. She never did, okay? So now, let me explain to you what happened. I forgot what year it was. I do believe it was 2011. Abigail's firstborn son committed suicide. Hadia, daughter, Amunet, she died. Then shortly after her daughter died, then her son put a firearm to his face and blew his head off. They're both not here anymore. They both transcended. And then right after that, her mother, Marilyn Frederick, she died. Now I'm going to tell you something. Many of you may not like the fact that I bring up somebody that's not here anymore, but I'm about the truth. I'm about the facts, okay? I don't have time to be playing games while y'all sitting around playing with Baba's life. Y'all got curses on y'all, and now your children ain't here anymore. Where's your son at, Abigail? Where's your children at, Hadia? Where are they? And then, out of Nicole Lopez, didn't one of your sisters pass away too? Y'all sitting up here playing with this man's life, thinking it's a joke after they recanted and said that it's all a lie. Y'all still went along with this story. You never came forth to the FBI to tell the truth about what really happened. And you know what? Y'all are stupid because you put your own children's life in danger. Now, we're going to get to Ada Nicole Lopez now. 1 minute. Let me set this stand up. It's got some information. Matter of fact, hold on. All right, let's get this back on. Now, oops. Okay. Let's get to Ada Nicole Lopez. Let's get to this devil, this demonic looking girl. Now, recently, there was what was called a mock deposition, okay? Now, I'll explain the legal terms later. Right now, I just want to get into this. Where they were all, Kaheem Black, Howard Richard Sills, Issa Johnson, the master teacher Melakazi Kobina York, Eddie Eddington, Habiba Washington, Salam LaRoche, Ebony Hill, they were all at this deposition hearing, and they were all questioned, okay? Because see, Dr. York is going to sue all of them. And this is from the Williams & Williams law firm back in January the 13th, 2022. That was 3 years ago, okay? Now, and like I said, yeah, the Williams & Williams law firm was fake because Baba came to me and told me that Shalimar was stealing money, okay? He said, look at you, sitting there counting money, and he told me that she had cancer cells in her left breast. Oh, and by the way, I want to talk to all you ex-mates of Dr. Melakazi York, all you sisters in this tribe, and you witches and you warlocks, anybody in this tribe cast another spell, try to put another hex on me, they're coming in the spirit world for your children. So if you care about your kids, leave me alone, all right? Balloons will be going up. I'm not the one. Now, I'm about to read what this woman said about Ada Nicole. You know, she's a sick person. And by the way, you know, Jacob slept with her mother, slept with her and the sister. Slept with all three of them. Y'all slept with that nasty freaking pedophile. Oh my God. We're going to get into that. Hold on. You know what? Since y'all know how she looked, let me just tell y'all what it says. Okay. So now the question was asked to Ada Nicole. And this is what it says. Hold on. These are facts. So I'm not allegedly nothing. I'm not talking like I'm on TikTok. Question, Miss Lopez, what is the name of your sister's boyfriend? Answer, Esam Williams, Kush. Question, how old was he at the time you had sex with him? Answer, I think he was 14. Now, this is Miss Lopez right here. This is Ada right here. Miss Lopez, what is the name of your sister's boyfriend? Answer, Esam William, Kush. Question, how old was he at the time you had sex with him? Answer, I think he was 14. And Miss Lopez, how old were you at the time you had sexual intercourse with Esam? Answer, 17? No, 19 years old. Okay, she try to act like she ain't know. Question, so Esam was only 14? Answer, yes. Question, and you were 19 years of age? Answer, yes. But he said it was okay. Question, so because of this, You felt it okay to have sex with an underage minor? Answer, he didn't mind. Question, Miss Lopez, do you know in the state of Georgia, it is a crime to have sex with a minor? Answer, no, I never really thought about it. I was young. Question, but old enough and older than Eson Williams? Answer, yes. Question, did you know you could go to jail for having sex with an underage minor? Answer, now, yes. Question, is that why you were given immunity? Because you had sex with multiple minors? Objection, Your Honor. Sustained. Question, did you have sex with any other minors, Miss Lopez? Answer, no. Question, you are reminded that you are under oath, Miss Lopez. Question, according to blah, blah, blah testimony, you also had sex with a male named Suleiman. Is this right? Yes. Did he want it too? I mean, he didn't mind either. Answer, no. Question, do you know the difference? Do you know the definition of a pedophile, Miss Lopez? Answer, kind of, yeah. Somebody who has sex with minors. Question, do you consider yourself a pedophile, Miss Lopez? Answer, no. Question, but you had sex with underage boys, right? Answer, yeah, but I didn't force them. They wanted to do it. Question, so in addition to molesting young Eson, you did have sex with did you have sex with any other minors, Miss Lopez? Please remember, you are under oath. Answer, yeah. Question, who might that be? A kid named Suleiman. At the time, he was a kid. Question, how old was Suleiman when you had sex with him? Answer, I don't remember. I think about 13 or no, maybe 14. Question, and Miss Lopez, you had sex with Esam Kush at 14, right? Recheck ages. Yeah. Answer, yeah. Question, so Miss Lopez, you had sex with Suleiman, Esam, Kush, all underage minors, right? Answer, yeah, but not at the same time, though. Yes, but according to your letter, Miss Lopez, you did participate in orgies. Yes? Answer, yes, but not everything, just some things. Question, both Suleiman and Esau were underage and you were an adult. Answer, I guess. But I already admitted to doing this. Question, yes, and this is why you were given immunity. Question, immunity to cover up the fact that you were the real criminal and not Mr. York. Answer, but I didn't really see it like that. Question, like what? That as an adult, you were guilty of the crimes you accused Mr. York of? Answer, I don't know. It was wrong. And question, wrong and criminal? Question, Miss Lopez, is it true that both you and your sister were having sex with the same boys? Answer, do I have to answer that? Question, well, maybe you would like to answer. Instead, you were a virgin when you met Mr. York. Answer, no, I was not. No, let me answer. Question, well, maybe you would like to answer. Instead, were you a virgin when you met Mr. York? Answer, no, I was not. Question, so, do I understand? Before you met Mr. York, you were not a virgin, right? Answer, right, I wasn't. So, you had already been sexually active, having boy or male friends. Answer, yes. Question, so, now I'm going to ask you some questions about Mr. York, okay? Question, Miss Lopez, I want to ask you a question, and I need you to answer it truthfully, okay? Answer, sure. Question, what are your feelings towards Mr. York? Question, do you have a personal grudge against the plaintiff York? Answer, no. Question, are you sure? Answer, I didn't like the way things were on the land, I guess. Question, yes, we remember. You resented did not having the freedom to drink alcohol. You resented not being able to smoke drugs. You resented not having orgies, maybe. Objection, sustained. Miss Lopez, in your testimony, dated, you also said you were close to your grandmother before moving on the land. Did you hate being away from her? Yes. Answer. Yes, I hated being away from her. Like I said, my grandmother and I was close. Answer. So you blame Plaintiff York for all your troubles? Answer. I guess you could say that. I mean, I was resentful of not being able to do whatever I wanted and pretending to be good. Question. So you said you and your brother Tardic were close, right? Answer. Yes. Please tell the court what happened in the community when the other children learned of your parentage. Answer. Well, they teased both me and my brother Tardic because we were not his DNA children, meaning Dr. York. Yeah, we got picked on and teased a lot like we were outcasts. And how did this make you feel? Answer. Angry. I think we both were angry. Tardic kept saying he didn't know. He thought Baba was his biological father. Answer. And I did not meet my biological father until I left the community. Like I said, it was mostly my grandmother, my mother, and my siblings. Question. So you were angry? Question. Angry enough to conspire a plan against Plaintiff York with Jacob York and Abigail? Answer. I. Question. Do you know who Jacob York is, right? Answer. Yes. Was it your plan to take charge and disrupt the order of things at the South Beach Hotel? Answer. I don't understand. Question. Okay. Let's go back to your testimonial letter, Miss Lopez. Your testimonial letter, Miss Lopez. Question. Miss Lopez, please explain in detail what happened the day after your orgy. I mean, group sex party. Question. The day you were in Orlando, Florida, who was at the South Beach Hotel? Answer. Well, I'm not sure if I remember everyone there, but it was myself, Ish, Jacob, Abigail, Noah, Ada, Rashid, Lemuel, and some girls, others. I was drunk. So, but Monday, now listen to this, y'all. Ishmael, Baba's son Ish was there. You know, I didn't have a picture of him right away to smack him up on the wall, but the audacity of this nigga to use his name, Dwight York, Dwight Dennis York, and work with his aunt, Joaquin Dale, to falsify Dr. York's name and put him in prison under Dwight D. York. See, they did that because they didn't want him to get out, because Malachi York is a diplomat with full immunity. So now, so she says, again, let me go back. This is who she said was there, y'all. I'm reading it from the documents, okay? This is who she said was there. She said, well, I'm not sure if I remember everyone there, but it was myself, Ish, Jacob, Abigail, Noah, Ada, Rashid, Lemuel, and other girls. I mean, Ada, Rashid, Lemuel, and some girls, others. I was drunk. So, but Monday, after, I remember falling asleep in the car. And when I woke up, they were talking about Baba. And Ross said that we should drive to Tamaray and get the girls. Jacob and Abigail said they couldn't do it like that. They had a plan. They had to plan it, right? Question, plan it, right? Exactly. What did Abigail and Jacob mean by this? Answer, we were going to do something about it. Question, so you were going to move to South Beach Hotel, plan the plan you all had spoken about regarding the plaintiff? Answer, yeah, but Jacob and Abigail said we had to plan it right. Question, Miss Lopez, on the 16th of May, 2002, you had a telephone call with Special Agent Joan J. Cronier, yes? Answer, it's too many years now. I really don't recall the exact date. Question, do you recall speaking with Agent Cronier anytime by phone during the time of York's 2002 arrest? Answer, yes. Question, do you remember what you told her? Answer, not really. Question, well, I'm going to pass this around for the jurors to see. Exhibit A. Question, Miss Lopez, on the 16th of May, you were residing at 3448 Great Meadows Court, Lithonia, Georgia, and your telephone number was 678-457-5748, right? Answer, okay, that sounds like right. Question, Miss Lopez, earlier you did say that you had close relationships with your siblings, right? Yes. And do you pretty much trust what they say? Yes, I guess. Question, Miss Lopez, I'm going to pass you an FBI transcript of exactly what you reported to Agent Joan on that day. Please read what it says. Reading. Answer. She's reading it. Do you remember making these accusations against Plaintiff York? Answer. Yes. In this report given to the agent, Agent Joan, on May 16, 2002, you accused Plaintiff York of inappropriate conduct with Chandra Lampkin. Question, who is Chandra Lampkin? Answer, Chandra Lampkin is in my age group of the girls touched by York. Question, your age group meaning between 27 and 28? Question, so that means at this time she was over the age of 27. Answer, yes, that is correct. Question, and both Miss Lopez and Miss Lampkin were not molested minors. Answer, I mean, yes, I think I remember saying that. Question, yet Miss Lampkin and others have given legal affidavits testifying they have not been touched by York. Each of these witnesses have come forth either in testimony or affidavit and stated these allegations were not true. Answer, well, that's them. Question, and you said you and your siblings were close, right? And your brother would have told you if he was being molested, don't you think? Answer, yes. I mean, we lived in different houses, but yes, I think he would have. Question, let's take a look at Exhibit 9 by Tardic Noel. That's your brother, right? Answer, yes. Question, on the 12th of July, 2007, your own brother wrote an affidavit. Hold on, let me let y'all see Tardic Noel. Oh, here he go right here. Let me move it up close so you can see Tardic. Hold on. That's Tardic Noel right there, y'all. So, okay, let's take a look at Exhibit 9 by Tardic Noel. That's your brother, right? Answer, yes. Question, on the 12th of July, 2007, your own brother wrote an affidavit denying most of his testimony at federal criminal trial of plaintiff Dwight Malachi York. Question, your brother, Tardic Noel, denied any sexual involvement with plaintiff York. Question, Tardic Noel denied having watched or seen any pornographic cartoons or inappropriate adult material. Question, specifically, your brother, Tardic Noel, denied being in or witnessing any inappropriate sexual behavior or activity with plaintiff York or the following adults. Question, denied witnessing or having any sexual intercourse with Kathy Johnson. Question, denied witnessing or having sexual intercourse with Chandra Lampkin, Nejlat, or Khadijah Merritt. Question, denied witnessing or having intercourse, including anal, oral, with Khalid Eddington, Eddie, Issa Johnson, and Abdul Salam Shalomo. Question, so Miss Lopez, are you still calling your brother a liar or are you telling a lie? Answer, silenced. She didn't say a word. Question, then on January 4th, 2004, you testified about a girl named Nanar. Can you explain a bit more about that? Answer, yes, so Nanar, she used to tell us it would be somebody who was in a family or close to the family who would teach them about it, sex and stuff like that. Answer, because she was basically saying, if you get married and you don't know how to do things in sex or whatever, that your husband, if he's not happy with you, then he will basically go with someone else. Then she had told me to do a video, and then she Okay, question. Okay, Miss Lopez. What is this mystery lady you are talking about? And how old was she when she came to you and talked to you about pictures and stuff? Answer. Nathara, maybe in her 20s. Question. I guess the question with the pictures, video, and stuff, did she ever tell you that Doc told her to do this? Or is this something she was doing from your personal knowledge and not some rumor that? Answer. It's just from my personal knowledge. She approached me at first. Question. I understand that part. I understand all that commentary you just said. I mean, I respect that. Question. With regard to the stuff, did she say anything about Doc? Y'all know that's Dr. York. Was the one requesting this to be done or anything like that? Answer. With the other stuff, with the other stuff she basically told us. Question. Well, not basically, did she? Answer. Okay. With the videos or when she first initially had the sex conversation? Question. Yes. Well, with the videos and stuff, she didn't come to me and say that Doc, meaning Dr. Melakazi York, said to have this conversation with you. Question. And where is she now? Answer. Nobody knows. Miss Lopez, it is impossible that you are lying on, no, it's Miss Lopez. Is it possible that you are lying on Plaintiff York to protect your mother, Barbara Noel? Answer. What do you mean? Your Honor, the government would tender at this time what has been pre-marked as Government Exhibit 12. The court, any objections? Attorney, none. Question. Meaning, would you do anything to protect your family, including lie? Convince your brother to lie? Answer. I don't know. Question. Well, you have immunity because you, on more than one occasion, had sex with underage boys, slept with your sister's boyfriend until she wanted to commit suicide. Question. Your mother also has a questionable character. So I asked, would you lie on Plaintiff York to save your family from imprisonment? Answer. I don't know. Question. Miss Lopez, on January 6, 2003, a letter was written and signed by your brother Tardic Noel. Can you read it for the court? Answer. Reading it. It says, to Umi, I couldn't tell you this in person, so I decided to write it down. This is about the note situation and what else happened. After the incident, during the last week of school, before the holiday weekend, around the time my father was popping in town, that night, with me, Taharka, my father, was in the car, and Taharka was telling me all this stuff about the court case, about the info being public, and the cross-examination process. He was saying all of this. He was saying all about the dirt they have. The lawyers, in parentheses, have on you. The lawyers have on you, Nicole, Amanda, etc. And that he wasn't telling me all of it. But they have enough for you to do some time. During the conversation, it popped up that the only way this can be avoided was if I didn't testify. And if I didn't testify, y'all wouldn't have to. And he's still reading. The next day we met up with him, and I expected to get a way out of testifying so that all of this won't happen to y'all. But he started asking me questions with y'all. Then he reminded me about all the stuff y'all did, like buying a house and Nicole having sex with minors. You can try to imagine how I felt. So I was under the impression that y'all was going down. Question. In Tardic's January 6th testimony, he stated that he felt if you didn't do nothing, you was going down. Answer. I guess he means us. Question. Tardic, your brother, knew they had a lot of legal ramifications, otherwise known as dirt, that would send multiple members of your family to jail. I mean that if I didn't do nothing, that the lawyers, had stuff on my mother, Barbara Noel, my sister, you, and whoever else are corrupt. Question. So, did your family conspire with Jacob York to wrongfully convict plaintiff York? Answer no. Question. Ms. Lopez. The letter you entered into evidence clearly demonstrates that your brother is complaining about being forced to testify against plaintiff York. Question. Tardic Noel admits to being desperate and feeling there was no other way to save you, Miss Lopez, and your mother, Miss Barbara Noel, from jail. Question. Did your mother or did she not attempt to blackmail the plaintiff, Dr. York, for money? Answer. I do not know. Question. Yes, Miss Lopez, I think you do. Enter final exhibit 5. Do you recognize this email address or the name? This is an extortion email from your mother threatening the plaintiff if he did not pay her specific sums of $5,500 within the legal field. We call it bribery or extortion. It seems you all as a family will go to great lengths to fabricate the truth and save yourselves. Question, Miss Lopez. 2 final questions for now. Jacob York has stated that during this time period, he only had sex with you, Nicole Lopez, and Tatiana Thomas. Did you have sexual intercourse with Jacob York, the son of plaintiff York, accused of conspiracy against Mr. York? Answer, yes. Question, the same Jacob York that persuaded all the conspirators to go to the FBI to falsely accuse Mr. York? Answer, yes. I had a sexual relationship with Jacob York. Question, in what years was that sexual relationship you had with Jacob? And how old were you then? How old were you when that relationship started and ended? Answer, we were young. Maybe for a few years. I can't recall. Question, do you know that you are older than Jacob York? Answer, no. I think we were close to the same age. You said when you were young. How young were you? Answer, I was maybe 15 or 16, I think. We were in our teens. If you were, let's say, 16, then Jacob was 13 years old. You were having sex with a 13-year-old boy, is what you told me, correct? Answer, no. I don't remember. Question, Miss Lopez. You stated you was with Jacob York as young as 13 years old. How long did this sexual relationship last with Jacob? Answer, I'm not sure if he was that old, or may have lied about his age. Is having sex with young boys your thing? That's what she asked her. Question. Objection. Attorney for defendant. Ms. Lopez has requested for a break. Oh my God, you freaking dirty lowdown. Oh my gosh. Hold on a second, y'all. Hold on. Let me get this out of this. Okay. Excuse me. All right. Hold on. Okay, y'all. I need a freaking break. Okay, so as you can see, hold on, let me get the book. Let me get my evidence, my facts. Okay. Oh, so Yvonne Christensen, what you were supposed to do was you were supposed to bring the facts, brother. This stuff you got in the book is all hearsay. Some of it is true because you got documents, you got pictures, but a lot of it is false. Now, I just read that whole freaking thing about Nicole Lopez. You know what? She's a nasty girl. And guess what? They all had chlamydia. All of them. And I'm like, what is with this chlamydia stuff? Because y'all don't remember the P. Diddy Puff Daddy during his trial, the girl that Casey Ventura, she was having sex with all of those male escorts, and they were saying that they caught chlamydia, that she gave them chlamydia, and she kept saying that Puff Daddy. She had chlamydia several times. She had urinary tract infections and stuff. You know, these people all had diseases. They all was sick in the head. You know, how are you gonna, first of all, how are you gonna put somebody like Nicole Lopez, who was molesting little boys, to testify on Dr. Melikazi York and give a pedophile immunity? Does that make any sense to y'all? How are y'all gonna let a pedophile? And look at this. I keep looking at this freaking picture. Look at this, y'all. Look at this. These were the people that stole. That's Adrian Patrick. That's Rick. That's Rochelle. There go Joaquin. There go Raina. And there go Neeful right there. Look at them. Well, is that Neeful? That look like her. I'm just saying, y'all. Look at what, and look at Baba. We always uplifted the master teacher with pictures of him with children. He's not a child molester. He's our heavenly father. He's our spiritual teacher in God. He's like a Mahatma Gandhi to us, to the Indians. He's a good man. He would never. He gave us a language. He gave us a culture. And he always protected the children. Y'all some dirty niggas, man, to do something like that to Baba. I ain't finished, all right? I got some more stuff to cover. Hold on, because I took some notes. 1 minute. I'm sweating in here. Oh, my gosh. You know, they stupid. Because guess what? If I would have went against Dr. Melikazi York and I would have lost my daughter or my son, I would have knew why that happens. And then check this out, right? This is another thing. When Abigail's son committed suicide, all of y'all remember Jacob York got with Abigail and all the other people from the land, the people that they all grew up together, and they had this big party or like this memorial in on Bushwick Avenue, right? And Nababtet was there. Nababtet's son was there. Puffy, who y'all call Nabab. They all were there. And Jacob York was there as well. And so my thing is, here it is. You got the girl who lied, the man who, the beast, the ugly monster, Jacob York, he's ugly. Oh my, I know you ain't got no girl. Oh. Ugh. You know, they all got together on Bushwick Avenue and they had this party or like this gathering together. Topper was there. They all was there with the people that did this to Dr. Melikazi York. And I don't understand what that was about. I don't understand what it was about. But I find it strange that if you say you escaped the cult, if you say that all these horrible things happened to you, why would you want to meet on Bushwick Avenue? Wouldn't you want to stay away from a place like that if you had all these horrible things happen to you? Huh, Abigail? You lost your son. Hadia, you lost your daughter. Let's go back to the wall. Hadia and Abigail schemed together. She lost her daughter. Look at that beautiful girl. She lost her son, handsome young boy. Took his life. She lost her son. You understand what I'm saying? Her mother, she lost one of her sisters. They all died, you know? And she's sick. She's sick. You understand? He's broke and ill. How y'all gonna let a devil or evil man like that come up against us and say that Dr. York did these things and you made a grave mistake, Sheriff Tabitjet Seals, because I know you're listening. You made a grave mistake, brother, because you thought we was gonna just let this go. Y'all sitting up here sleeping with each other, having orgies. You sleeping with all of these girls. Y'all like, do they look like they was molested? Look. She got her pants all the way down there. They all crazy, got mental issues. And I wanted to show y'all this. I'm pretty sure y'all want to know what this is doing on the wall. This is registered of the building. So right here it says the debtor. The debtor is Carla Thomas, and the secured party is Solar Mosaic LLC. So you know, Mosaic, those are Jewish people. And there's a lien on the property. And the lien is in California somewhere. And there go that name Glendale again. Look at Dale name in there. That must be like some kind of evil witch name or something. Because when they all lived in that house, it was on Glendale Road. So I just wanted y'all to see that too. That's all. Bringing the facts. Hold on. Because I got some more behind whipping to do. Matter of fact, hold on. I got this belt. I don't want to knock my deities down. They need they behind whip. They need they behind whip. Okay? They need an ass whipping. All of them. All of them need their ass whipped. You too, Nicole. Your mother should have whooped your ass. All of y'all need a behind whipping for what y'all did to Malachi. He did nothing to you, to y'all. Y'all sat up there and lied. Y'all made up these lies on him. You too, Tardic, with your sick self. All of y'all are sick and evil. And all y'all got diseases and curses. So, let me move on to some other things some points that I need to make. I want to say this too about the brothers. A lot of y'all want to be up front and y'all want to teach, but Dr. Malachi York is a very neat man. And the brothers and the sisters were always very respectful and very clean, you know? And, you know, the Ansars, those brothers had on long white robes. They were very clean. They were very neat. They were very respectful. And those that stepped out of line got checked or kicked out. Because Bobby used to go off on them brothers and say, he used to say, I know what y'all trying to do. Y'all trying to pull women with the doctrine. And he used to go off on them brothers and tell his sisters, don't let no man say, no brother say, oh, he need to come to your house to build with you and all this, because that's not our rules. We had very strict rules and regulations, and we were happy. And there were no gates holding us in. When I left. There were no locks on none of the doors, because the brothers protected us. The brothers stayed on guard. There were no locks on the doors. Nobody had a key to get in and out. There was security everywhere. And when I left, I left. And I didn't leave because of Malachi. I left because of the way the women were treating me. You know? And what happens is when you're new and you come around, it's just like when you were in school and you were a freshman. You know? The older people, especially if you look nice, your mother dressed you nice, the older people in the school mistreat you. You know, it wasn't severe, but it got to the point where I feel like, you know what? I'm hearing cars go by with music playing. Boom, 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 boom. In the system, I was like, man, I'm out of here. But that was a mistake. But I'm just being honest, because I'm going back in time and remembering that day. And while I'm hearing the cars go by with the music, and I'm like, I'm in here for what? I didn't say, this is what my mom was at the time. I was like, I'm in here, you know, I'm not, you know, I don't feel like I'm family. I didn't feel accepted. And what happens is the women, they get very jealous, because I worked in the office with the master teacher. I was working with him in York Productions. I worked in the mailroom, and people were jealous. Sometimes the sisters would sit back and wait to see if I came home at night. They were sitting up waiting for me. I was like, yo, what is wrong with them? Then they would ask me questions. And, you know, I was so vulnerable. I was young. I was vulnerable. And I didn't understand what was going on. You understand? And like I said, everywhere the righteous gather, there's always people there representing the devil. Always. Always. Just like right now, these devils that are watching, they're devils. Okay? And so I just wanted to say to you all that this whole situation was a scheme. Let me see. There was something else that I wanted to bring up. I wanted to say this too, right? I wrote that down. I want to say, how come, we as a nation, right? As a people, I'm speaking about us as a people. How come we never go against what's wrong with this society in America? But when somebody like Dr. Malachi York comes up with a plan to get us out of this wicked world, to have the men, women, and the children, well, the children and the women in a safe environment protected, we always let them call us a cult and say that we're this and we're that, when he's the most intelligent man on the planet. I want to read something to y'all. I'm going to show y'all why Dr. York is such a powerful man. Now, hold on. Let me turn this camera around for a minute. I want to show y'all something. Okay. You see that? Now, you see the ribs of a human body, of a human anatomy? Now, who would know to line that up with the menorah? Look. Who would know that? Only a master would know to line up the human rib cage with the menorah. An inverted menorah represents the backbone tree of life, and this is the bone of Lucy, right? And so Baba says the 6 strands of their menorah is a 6,000-year time, and the 7th is the end of their time, from 2,000 to 3,000 millennium, 1,000 years. Revelations chapter 20, verse 2, and Revelations chapter 18, verse 2, encaged from the year 2000 A.D. And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is called the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years. Revelations 18, verse 2. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and the cage of every unclean and hateful bird. He is encaged as a spirit, Tayef ghost, bound to earth. No place found for them in Paha, heaven. Revelations 12, 8 through 12. Lost spirits, specters, all in their yakas jeans. And prevailed not, neither was their place found any more in heaven. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, Now is come salvation and strength, and the kingdom of our God. Excuse me. Hold on. He was cast out into earth, and his angels were cast out with him. And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, Now is come salvation and strength, in the kingdom of our God, and the power of Christ. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before God day and night. And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb, and by the sword of their testimony. And they loved not their lives unto death. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down to you, having great wrath, because he know he has but a short time. So I also wanted to read this. And I think I did cover all the affidavits. This is Abigail. This is Abigail affidavit, y'all, that she signed and notarized. Okay? And said she wasn't being forced to lie. So she lied, and they put a liar on the stand. Just like in the movie The Devil's Advocate. In order to win cases, they didn't care. They would get somebody to lie. You think she'll back you? Yeah. You put that lady on the stand. And when he asked him, he didn't know the lady was lying. He said, is he cut? Meaning, is he circumcised? She says, what? He said, is he cut? You've been sleeping with this, messing around with this man. Is he cut or not? And she got mad and started yelling at him. And he backed up and knew she was lying. And he still put her on the stand. You see? So, and in that movie, The Devil's Advocate, it was about court. you know? And in the beginning of the movie, it was about a school teacher that molested a girl. And the lawyer got him off and knew that he was lying. But there's this, oh, wait, hold on. Let me see, there was something else. I don't know why my nose itching. Oh, hold on. There was something else that I wanted to cover in here. Nope, I got that, got that. Okay, I basically covered all of that. That's good. Knock that out. Okay, I got one more thing that I wanted to read to the family. I wanted to say this. I am a Sabaean woman. I live Wu Sabat. This is my life. And if you don't want to live it, then don't live it. This ain't for you. You know, this isn't for everybody. You know, this isn't a doctrine that's for everybody. The master teacher, these aliens that are here, they're coming to get their children. They don't care about everybody else. They're only concerned about their seed. Okay? So if y'all want to walk around in this world and live the way that you live, then go ahead, live that way. But I'm not gonna socialize. I'm not gonna be socializing with kafiruns, concealers of the truth, or people that don't want to walk upright. I want to read this from Psalms of Yanan, Im Samek Im Yanun, and it says, "Let us, Nuwapians of Wunuwap, rejoice. The Adamite race, determined in their Abab hearts." This is how the Adamites think. These are our ancestors telling us how they think. "We will take control of other Salau races and entice them to commit monstrous acts in this life for us, knowing all that inevitably practicing such evils as offered by them will shut the gateway back above and open a cage to trap and imprison others by our soul with their own. We will enslave them until the Zamut day they are raised at the end times, and that will be my crowning conquest. We will definitely infuse our DNA with all others as to infect them to suffer as we suffer. In this manner, they will even contemplate us being the source of such thoughts and will be terrified of our fury and true wicked and evil nature as the devil, Mujwad, devil. We will surely create in their Ababad hearts a desire to be with us and like us in our monstrous sins. They will worship Yatuh, obey us with these attributes implanted in them: deception, deceit. They will not even recognize the difference between good and evil. They will not recognize us nor themselves. They will only obey our commands with the Abab heart every Zamut day and every Garut night. I, as an Nawapian of Wunuwap, am very thankful that I broke this Hajj spell, this hypnotic spell of these devils. On seed, I'm thankful, I'm ever thankful. Did I read that right? Yeah, I did. Yeah, so I wanted to read that. I forgot to begin with the all prayer. This was just a lot, you know what I mean? And I want to say, those of you who are part of this, you need to repent. You need to repent for what you did, you know, because it's nothing but bad things happening to all these people, all of them. They don't have good lives. They don't have health. They don't have money. They don't have wealth. They don't have luck. And let me read this to you too, because I fold this page. I wanted y'all to, and this is for Yvonne Christensen, if you're listening, the guy who wrote that book. Listen to this. Hold on. Oh, where I showed the menorah, the book where Baba showing, that came out of Pa Shajar Shalil Haya, the Tree of Life. That came out of this Master Secrets, where Baba had the picture of the rib cage. Okay, hold on. I want y'all to see something. 1 minute. Hold on. 1 minute. Let me sit this down. I'm gonna read something else, and then I'm done. I think I've done enough, and I think you all know who Abigail Washington is, who Jacob York is. He's a liar. He's a thief. None of them got any money. He lied to them all, made it all up. Look at all of them that knew about this. They did nothing, and they're all sick. Look at the lawyer. I showed y'all the lawyer on the wall that played a part in this. You know, I showed y'all the people that are not here with us because Marilyn, she died too. Listen, this sister had Dia, she worked with her. She lost her daughter, she lost her son, and she lost her mother. And look who her mother's with. Dale, the head witch. Look who her daughter and her mother is with. You know what I'm saying? What type of crap is that? Y'all around this freaking lady that did this? And answer this question too, y'all. Y'all should ask yourselves this question. Why is it that all the people that hang around Dale, they always lose their life or lose their children's life? Why y'all hanging around these people that did this to Dr. Melakazi York? Why? Anyway, hold on, let me read this. Excuse me. Put my shawl back on. I love this. I love living my life as a Sabian. I don't know about y'all, but I love my culture. You know, I wouldn't trade this for nothing. I don't want to be like those people in the world. I don't want to wear wigs. I don't want to look like them. I don't want to be them. Baba came to me in a dream and asked me where my ring's at. Because I have a ring that I wear here and my other ring that he gave me. And I told him it's being repaired. But one of the rings had too much lotion and it needed to be cleaned out so the diamonds could shine. And the other ring, a stone fell out. And he came to me and he was in my room talking to me. And we were talking like I just can't. He was there. He asked me where your rings at. He said that to me because they wasn't on my hand. Yeah, the master teacher is with us. You know, those of us who know, we know. And if you don't know, then I don't know what to tell you. You know, I don't know what to tell you. This is my life, and this is what I choose to live, and this is the way. And the master teacher is not upset with me. He's not angry with me. He's proud of me. And he's happy that I stayed. And relationships, there's ups and downs in relationships. It's not always straight, you know? And anything that you get fast is of temporary value. Let me read this. Hold on. Hold on. Okay, here we go. It says, Sakim. This is coming out of actual fact, his story. Hakehu. Actual fact, Hakehu. And it's series number 73. And this is what this says. It says, Sachem, divine power gives you everything you need to transform through your right knowledge, right wisdom, right understanding, into the right overstanding, so that by way of the right tones, you may practice in the divine Fatir al-Fatar, natural nature, and escape the corruption in this physical tapal world caused by Nahes, evil desires. For this very reason, make every effort to chant, pray, sing, dance together in goodness with self-control, and to self-control and to self-control perseverance, and to perseverance. For if you use these qualities in increasing measures, they will keep you from being ineffective and unproductive in your transformation. Know yourself inside out and outside in. Never have you been taught the likes of Wu Sabat or Miss Batia, as Musbatu Sabians of Miss Batia, and this is your way, not others. Za'am at religions for their own race and tone. your own tone. Musbatu Sabians are a race themselves. Musbatu Sabians know this actual fact. There were also false prophets among their Shakasu people, just as there are and will be false teachers among you. They will secretly introduce destructive theories by denying Wusabat, bringing swift destruction on themselves. Many will listen to and follow their shameful ways and will bring the way of Hakakat, actual facts and truth into dispute and disrespect in their lust and greed. These false teachers will exploit those who listen and follow them with cassette stories they have made up or plagiarized from others and change or mistranslate even what I, Baba Yanun, taught you. Their condemnation has been long hanging over them, and their destruction has not been overlooked or extended past the 6,000 years, which was the year 2000 AD. Understand, these Kakasnadu Caucasoids blaspheme in matters they do not understand, and their Negro followers do not overstand. They, the Kakasnadu Caucasoids, are brute beasts, creatures of instinct without a ba'a soul, born only to be caught and destroyed like wild beasts. They too will perish, and those who worship the image of this beast. They will be paid back with harm for the harm they have done to the Gardenat Usalau Negroid race. Cursed is their kashar, flesh as Mubrasku, lepers, blots and blemishes, revealing in their perversions, while they feast on flesh, even human, and spread diseases with light Ayanatwi eyes full of adultery. They never stop their Jawed wicked and Nahes evil ways. They use the media to seduce the weak-minded. They are experts in lies and deception. In Talub, seek your Ba'as soul and to offer your Kashar flesh to their overlords. Who are their overlords? In their own Medet words, the great draconians, reptilians, the Mudwa'u devils, the Satans who lead the whole world astray, the fallen Mukbatu angels cast out from above. Revelations chapter 12, verse 7 through 12. And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels, and prevailed not. Neither was their place found any more in heaven. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, Come, now is come salvation and strength and the kingdom of our God and the power of his Christ. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our God day and night. And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony, and they loved not their lives unto the death. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, that ye shall dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, and for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. And with that, I'm going to end this live. I hope I made everything clear. Thank you for tuning in, and please send this to everybody. Everybody needs to know that Nicole Lopez is a liar. She wrote a letter. They had orgies on Tamaray. They were drinking alcohol. She was having sex with underage boys. Her sister and all of them were having anal sex with Jacob, Barbara Noel. She lied, had sex with Jacob. They lied to Bill Osinski to make up these stories about the master teacher. And these are children of the devil. Wadu.